I used like a conditioning mask on my hair today, so I was like,
So
I'm ready, interview ready.
You're like metalhead interview ready.
Yeah, hold on.
Nice.
Are we recording? I'm assuming we're recording.
Yes, we are.
Okay,
you look
great.
so vain right now. So that's like.
Gonna make it worse. I'm gonna put on the jacket.
Oh.
It's gonna slap on. Yeah, it's gonna. We're sampling that in the next Atrophy song.
Dude, you should.
Dude, we were making so much fun of this one guy we were playing with, Kill the Burr. That was our last show. He has 2,000 followers and already has his band's logo. His own band. He hires session musicians, on his neck. KTB on his neck. Too much. And then he tried, so we asked them, we're like, hey, our drummer comes all the way from Milton. Does anyone have any breakables that he can borrow, right? And he went, I recommend going to Long and McQuaid, this is his words, Long and McQuaid, and renting a snare and cymbal bag. This will allow you to carry your snare and cymbals.
Right.
So he's talking down to Logan, and then we're there, and I'm like, hey man, my bus in Pickering stops running super early. I've got to go home to like leave and everything like that. You know, everyone's really tired. Thank you for inviting us. This was a great time. We hope you have a great set. And he's like, well, one of you's got to stick around. You know, etiquette. Bitch, what?
Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah, so he talked mad shit and was like talking, and he made us come up with a stage plot. He made us come up with all this garbage. It was like it was a professional show. We sold 40 tickets.
Yeah.
It almost got canceled because the promoter said we weren't selling enough pre-sale tickets. They wanted us to sell at a quarter of the venue in pre-sale for a local show.
That's never gonna happen.
That's never gonna happen, right? And then on top of all that, the money is not what matters, but it's so funny for him to talk all this shit and be like this big, like, it's a huge production. We're gonna have so many people show up. I'm releasing a single, and then it's like we got paid $50 total.
Lovely.
Like, and it took him 3 weeks to pay us because the promoter withheld the money. I'm like, yeah, we're never playing a show with you guys again.
No, I think that's a pretty good idea on your part. Anyway.
Sorry, we're recording.
Dude,
I'm so sorry.
That is so good. I love that. That's such a good story.
Okay.
So, hello. What is your name?
My name is. Am I looking at the camera or at you?
Either works, honestly.
Okay, I'm gonna look at the camera
You
first.
switch back and forth and be like, I'm Jamie.
Shit. Okay. Yeah. I'm Jamie. Yeah, it's gonna fuck up the microphone. Oh shit! Is the microphone still there?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. All right.
The magnet's pretty powerful.
All right. My name is Jamie McGuire. I'm the guitarist of Atrophy, and that's Sid. You can't see them, but Sid is there, and Sid is awesome, and I'm very happy to be here.
Second camera?
Yeah.
We started recording already. Set it up if you wish.
That's up to you.
We'll set it up for the next one.
This is such a professional setup.
We're so professional. Alright.
Okay.
Thanks, Lucas.
No worries.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so, do you consider yourself punk?
That is a tough question. Because I feel like a lot of punks are a lot more involved socially and politically. I think I align myself with a lot of punk values, but I think to call myself a punk, I would have to be doing a lot more in the scene and in terms of working for social justice and working for our neighbors and stuff like that to call myself a punk. I'd really like to do more, and that's something I'm working on this year a lot. So somewhere in the middle. Punk values, not quite a punk.
That's very cool. Alright, and where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in the rough and tumble streets of the GTA in Pickering. It was a very lovely experience. I think the most traumatic thing that happened to me was several divorces, but that's everybody. So I had a pretty okay lifestyle. Another reason why I don't really consider myself like a punk. A lot of these people, they talk about their backgrounds, and it's like, oh shit, you went through dramatic stuff, and it's like, I just got 2 Christmases. I'm sorry.
It's probably double the Christmases you've had. That's fair. I don't think it's really reliant on like background too. You can still fight for stuff without really coming from.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah, but okay. So then, yeah, I guess what was growing up in Pickering like in family life? Did anything steer you to kind of this kind of music or place?
Yeah, this I can talk about with confidence. This I can talk about with confidence and not say something wrong. Okay, so growing up was difficult through getting diagnosed with pretty severe autism and several other mental disorders that I won't go into. But I am diagnosed, and going through life like that can be difficult. It's not like Cry Me a River, but when your first interactions with social through elementary school are entirely being separated from everybody, and you experience a lot of anger, you experience a lot of unhinged emotions that you're not quite sure how to understand yet, right? That was something that I struggled with a lot, was learning to understand and regulate emotion. And so growing up, it was very much, why is everyone so happy all the time? Why is the music so happy all the time? It was kind of the feeling of like, does anyone else ever just feel really pissed off and just need somewhere to put it?
Yeah.
Right? Like I tried so many things. I tried, my mom, who's my biggest supporter and is wonderful, tried putting me through so many things, and nothing really stuck to be an outlet for me, which is something I desperately needed. And then I was 10 years old. I was coming home from I'm pretty sure getting picked up early from school from the principal's office, because I can't remember if that was the day that I punched somebody or not. As I said, it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
But she's like, hey, someone came to the student-teacher meeting today. His name was Mr. V, and he teaches guitar to kids after school. And that really clicked for me. It was one of those moments where it was like, that's something you can do.
Yeah.
That's like, you can, and it was really, really cool. And my first class, immediately, I got a guitar put in my hands and everything took off from there, right? I started finding my own music. I started finding different things online. A lot of stuff that I would consider poser shit now, but it's really good to get you into the scene for sure,
Yeah.
right? Avenged Sevenfold I fucked with heavy. I still kind of do. I still kind of do.
Hail to the King is kind
Hail
of
to the King sucks.
Yeah.
It does, but if you want to deny, listen.
What are you talking about? It was on Fortnite Festival.
I really don't like that, Sid. I'm going to be so honest with you. No, this is an important part. If you say that Avenged Sevenfold has no hits, you're lying. You're lying through your fucking teeth, because Avenged Sevenfold has some bangers. Afterlife, what's the one? Brompton Cocktail, that's a good fucking song. That's a deep cut. You should listen to that one. Okay.
True.
But yeah, so that was what drew me to the scene, was that someone else felt like me. It was okay to feel different. It was okay to feel unaccepted. It was okay to feel angry. It was okay to feel all of these feelings that I was shunned for and taken out of class for and yelled at home, right? Like I had a really shitty stepdad at one point. And I would get the, oh my God, you're crying again, like the shit like that, right? Again, not Cry Me a River, but it's like, when you're like 8 years old, that fucks with you. You're like, you can't cry. I'm not allowed to express my emotions. That's really shitty. And so especially when, you're autistic and you've been taught maybe to trust 3 or 4 adults total, and one of them says something to you like that, I went through until I was like 12, 13, and it was like, well, I'm not allowed to express myself at home. I'm not allowed to express myself at school. I'm not allowed to express myself here. Where am I allowed to put it out? And that was music. So that's what drew me to the scene.
That's really great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. It's like
it's so okay. As I'm saying, it's not
the autistic experience, unfortunately.
It really is, and I feel it's hard talking about the autism now because, and I don't mean this in a rough way. Obviously, it's very hard to get diagnosed, and I understand that. But it just seems like a lot of people are labeling themselves as autistic now, and it's become something to bring up. And it's like, oh, here it goes again. And I've had that reaction from people, and it's like, no, this is something I've struggled with since a very young age, right? Like this is not like I saw a TikTok and I'm autistic.
Yeah.
This is, I had a really rough upbringing with emotional regulation and all these sort of things, right?
Mm-hmm. And now kind of here we are.
Now here we are, right?
Yeah. So how did you kind of like bring all that and the music and everything, and then kind of, I guess, find your way to the Toronto scene?
Okay, so the Toronto scene, my first interactions with it fucking sucked, man. That's how it went, right? I'd only heard really clean, really processed, really, streamlined music, and to go to a local show, it's loud, it smells like ass. It's at some bar I think my first local gig that I went to was at the Handlebar.
Yeah.
Milk Faction and early Rest Haven was playing. Oh, wow. And I am so sorry, Rest Haven, but I fucking hated your set so much. I didn't understand local music. You guys probably killed it, because I've seen you now so many times, and I'm like, holy shit, Rest Haven fucking rocks.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was like, what's going on? It's so loud, and it's such a small... This is 2022.
Okay.
Early 2023.
Okay.
So like more than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what the fuck is this? And then every time I got invited to a local show, I'm like, okay, fine. I guess I'll go. And then as it started piling up, it was like, oh, I'm starting to hear it. You know what I mean? I'm starting to hear the inspirations. And as you get into deeper dive into alternative music, you start to understand where people are drawing their influences from. You start to understand what it's all about. You know, it really was about the music. It didn't feel like it was about the music when I went to my first show, but once you start to see past the shitty dive bar, past the hour-and-a-half transit to get there, past that it's probably a little too loud. Yeah, the sound guy that's gonna like, the only snare that you can hear throughout the whole venue, right? You start to realize that this is just a bunch of genuine people that have a passion for music. And when you start looking at it through that lens, it becomes a lot more inviting. You realize you're in good company. You realize you're, most of the time, unless it's, what were those, I forget the name, I forget it. But you start to realize you're in good company with people that genuinely just care about their music. And when you start looking through it through that lens, it becomes a very safe place to be.
Yeah, and it's like the scene has become kind of like a safe place for me and you and a lot of people who we're friends with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right? So it's like, it's interesting to be able to see like the same groups of people kind of on a regular basis doing something that you all love.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. What else do I got for you?
I'm sorry that I'm not looking at the camera. I just find it easier to talk to you.
Honestly, I find it easier just to talk face to face either way. Camera is kind of secondary to most of this. I've just been enjoying talking to people. All right. Has your life changed significantly since being in the scene?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah?
Specifically since I joined Atrophy, was originally Corpse Party. Thank God we changed that name.
I still have the original Corpse Party sticker on my laptop.
Holy shit, really? The red one? Yeah. That's fucking crazy. I only played one show as Corpse Party before I started slowly hinting it at Cleo, and I was like, hey,
maybe rebrand.
A rebrand, maybe not naming ourselves after a strange indie video game is the move.
Is that what it was originally?
Corpse Party is like a video game.
Okay.
And so I was surprised. I was like, it's kind of a cool name. It's a little rough.
Yeah.
But I went to a friend and they're like, that's just a video game. That's straight up ripped from that. I'm like, ah. And now we're just ripping our name. Well, I didn't know that they were a band, but we're probably gonna have to pull a Kubla Khan later and put like there is from the 80s that did thrash or some shit. I think they're all dying soon.
Yeah.
I think we're not gonna get a copyright issue.
You just gotta wait it out a little bit.
Yeah, and also we have 100 monthly listeners. We're not gonna end up with a copyright issue. That's just not happening. Fuck the question. Sorry.
How did your life change? I guess actually, how did you start playing with Atrophy and joining that?
It was
I remember when Cleo was having a hard time putting together a band for that one gig that almost fell apart. Was that
huge long shot?
Yeah. That
was pre-me.
Okay.
My first show with Atrophy was SOS Fest in Hamilton.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, which was super fucking cool. Shout out to the guys in Constrained for putting that together because that was one of the most enjoyable nights ever. That was a great weekend. I got my first ever real tattoo that weekend. Nice. And it was just, a lot of good memories on that day.
That's good.
So that was a long shot. I had a friend who I hadn't talked to in fucking forever who ran into Cleo at Pride. I wasn't at Pride. And they texted me and they were like, hey, I just met someone who's looking for a guitarist. And I texted Cleo and I was like, hey, I heard you're looking for a guitarist. I'm good at that. I can do that. And they sent the demos and I remember I was like, this is a little rough around the edges. But Cleo, for not having any instrument background, they can write some remarkable demos, right? And so I heard the demos and I heard the vision and I was like, this is something I absolutely want to be a part of. So to lead into that, how my life has changed, the amount of respect, the amount of love, and the amount of catharsis that I have managed to feel throughout playing gigs and throughout making friends through bands is an incredible feeling. It has changed my life in the way that I have more people that I can rely on. It has changed my life in that I have more ways to have an outlet, right? Before I would be sitting in my room alone, you'd write a cool riff and I'd be like, well, who the fuck do I send this to?
Yeah.
I don't have the tools, the capabilities, or the time to turn this into something that I can release, right? So
Yeah.
to have people that see my visions and I can see theirs, and it just becomes something to be proud of, right? Putting something into the world that I can be proud of is an incredible feeling. So it has changed my life in those ways, if that wasn't
That's
too
awesome.
jumbled. Okay.
That's so awesome.
Okay, cool.
No, because it's so cool, and it's so cool, like, hearing people just, like, have these, like, awesome life experiences and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's, like, it's changed your life in so many good ways.
Am I dragging too long with the questions?
You're fine.
No? Okay, all right.
You're totally fine.
All right, I want
It's
to make
like
sure I'm not
we're-
taking too much
we're
time.
We're chilling.
Okay.
It is all good. And then, yeah, you mentioned your first show being the Rest Haven show, yeah? The one at the Hangar,
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. How was it, like, going to, guess, a dive bar and everything, and, like, just being in that
Well,
kind of environment?
As someone who had never been to a bar before, let alone a dive bar, let alone a show. Well, I'd been to a couple concerts. I'd been to Cancer Bats and Comeback Kid.
Ooh,
If you ever get a chance to go see Comeback Kid, they just were in town, but they're Canadian. They'll be back.
Yeah.
Go see them. Holy shit, that was a religious experience. To be an
Keep talking. I'm just
All
gonna
right.
grab that. You got it? Alright,
Yeah,
word.
it happens like it.
Word.
to be this angry metalhead who'd never seen I'd never seen a live band before.
Yeah.
Right? I think I'd seen Johnny Clegg, who's a South African guy, and I'd seen one jazz concert before then. But that's everybody sitting down.
Yeah.
That's know
Just easy
that
listening.
was fucking not Massey Hall, the Meridian Hall, or like the one that's the
Meridian
the Four Seasons.
Oh,
The
okay.
Center for the Performing Arts. That's where it
Okay.
was. I think that's what it's called now.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, isn't Meridian in, like, St. Catharines?
No, wrong one. Sorry.
Okay.
It's like the forcing, like the classical hoity-toity
Yeah,
shit, right?
down
And so to
by-
pull up to the Phoenix and be like, oh shit, this is real. Like this is something people do. Like it's not just School of Rock. My only experience
Jack
so far with local scenes was School of Rock with Jack Black, which I
love
think is a
Jack
great intro.
It's a great movie.
Fantastic. The real hero of that movie, I've seen a post on this, is the promoter that managed to pull like 1,000 people out to a local battle of the
True.
bands on
That's-
a Wednesday afternoon.
That's so fucking true.
You
That
fucking
room
kidding
was
me?
packed. Yeah.
The room was packed. It was a Wednesday afternoon, a weekday afternoon.
I don't go to shows on weekdays. I got school. I got
Yeah,
work.
no, for real. So yeah.
Yeah, and then you're straight edge, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so
Straight
it's-
edge.
Yeah, being in the
I'm gonna do a
bar.
really douchey thing right now.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, it's the.
Or whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm not that involved.
But it's like.
I'm just sober and boring. I'm not really part of the community.
Yeah, I guess could you talk a little bit about like what straight edge kind of is? I guess.
All right. Well, there's a lot of different opinions I've heard on it, and a lot of different things I've seen. For me, it's being completely sober of substances. So no drugs, no alcohol, no smoking, and trying to hold, as well as it means a lot to me in terms of values outside of that, right? So, being around a lot of very intoxicated adults from a young age, right? Like it was, I come from an Irish family, right? So everyone's drinking all the time. Shut the fuck up. My last name's McGuire. You had a week to prep for this interview, and the best you could come up with is hoity hoity hoity.
I was watching Jacksepticeye in preparation, and that's all he says. That's all.
Didn't even have a top of the morning for me.
You know what?
You know what? Yeah.
You know
All right. So
Little original.
being like not a teenager and being the most present person in the room is a really shitty feeling.
Yeah.
Right? And especially having many, many younger siblings that now, those are my responsibility now.
Yeah.
At least that's what it felt like. Right? And it was that moment that clicked for me when I was young, and it was like, I never want to make anybody feel like this. I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. I don't want to make myself feel uncomfortable. I never want to be in a state where if someone talks to me, I cannot communicate myself and authentically.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a lot about other people's comfort as well as just making sure that I feel safe with myself. Because I've heard so many stories of I got drunk and did something stupid. I got drunk and said something stupid. I got high and missed this. I like whatever. It's just like I don't ever want to experience that,
Yeah.
right? And I'm sure a lot of it comes from irrational fear, and and a lot of straight edge kids will fucking hate me for that, for saying that it comes from that. But absolutely, it
Instead of,
does.
like the choice, yeah.
I've never experienced any drug use. I haven't even hit someone's vape, right? Like that's not something I've done. I'm sure it's not awful. I'm sure it's not a terrible experience, but I don't know, right? I've heard horror stories of people with mental illnesses getting high and just freaking the fuck out and having anxiety attacks. And it's like, that sounds unpleasant to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to trip. I don't want to see hands coming out of the wall. I don't want to have a bad experience. And it's safer for me to just not have the experience entirely. So that's a big part of it. The other part of it is what I was talking about before is I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. I don't want it to be a part of my life. It's not something I want to be able to depend on. And also, in all realness, I am far too broke for substance abuse.
Yeah. That's also another one in there, isn't it? Yeah. That's fair. I don't think they're terrible reasons.
Yeah, I think that's fear, making people feel comfortable, and just being broke. That's where it comes from.
Yeah. I mean, I guess a lot of people would have kind of an opinion on, like, you're only straight edge if it's like an actual choice that you're making.
It's for sure a choice. I don't want it to be minimized by the fear that I have.
That's fair, yeah.
It is a choice that I have made for myself to identify that way because, I understand addiction is a disorder and there's a large genetic component to it. I have a lot of sympathy for that. But when I'm around someone that makes me feel uncomfortable because they chose to do drugs around me without, making sure anyone was comfortable, that's a shitty behavior.
It is.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to be around you for doing it. So a lot of it, I think, is disdain for people that treat me poorly as well. I've been treated poorly by people that are on substances, and I hate that feeling, and I don't want to be a part of that.
That's fair. That's a very good way to put that. Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm glad I'm not coming off all right.
No, yeah, it's and the whole thing about that is like the problem of like most shows having a very heavy kind of drinking and drug culture.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's rough because the place to be between sets is outside where everyone's smoking.
Yeah, because that's where you talk to people.
That's where you talk. That's where, and as much as a lot of people like, I don't know if they'll see it this way, but it's networking.
It is.
It's absolutely networking. You might run into a photographer. You might find into a band that says, "Hey, that was a sick set. We're playing a show on blank date. You want to come?"
And you want to hit.
Yeah.
Always follow that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's difficult, right? Having to say no all the time, having to seem like a square or something like that, right?
You're a square. Yeah. We don't want to play with squares. Yeah.
So it's a strange, alienating experience, and that no one really cares, but it feels like they do. And there's also a lot of spaces where you can't go, right? There's a lot of people's houses you can't go because their thing is to hotbox their living room. And it's like, I would love to hang out and talk with all of you wonderful people.
Yeah,
but that is...
A lot of our hangouts are kind of just that.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's difficult, as well as another portion of it is sensory issues, right? Like the feeling of smoke in the air, the feeling of that smell, it becomes very overwhelming very quickly, so...
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is... I guess I didn't really think about it that way. It is a very differing experience.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into it, and I hope that it helps some people understand that it's not just hating addicts or hating, right? Because like, one of my favorite bands, No Cure. I fucking love No Cure, but their biggest song is No Cure, Straight Edge, Die Slow, Fuck You, and it's like, it's a great song.
Yeah.
And when you're really pissed at someone, it's a good feeling, but then it's also like, okay, they probably don't mean it fully that way, and also, I don't hate you because you're an addict. Just maybe don't say weird shit to me while you're tripping balls. That's kind of where I'm at, right?
Yeah, it's like there's a line between like tripping at a show where your actions affect other people and then tripping yourself in your home in a safe space.
Yeah, right? I think responsible consumption is something people should focus on. I do not judge other people for their drug use. I do not. I try very hard not to, at least.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because it's easy enough to say it's like I don't, but then having like your own reservations and ideas about it.
For sure.
It's always a lot of work to like change your own biases.
Mentally exhausting. It's
horrible.
It's something I have to do.
Indeed.
Because it's a part of the scene. It's a part of the people I hang out with, and the question that I will always ask people that I do not know or that I do not agree with is I'm like, why? It's a very simple question of why do you have that opinion? And a lot of the time, these people that you might not feel a lot of respect for will come out with this fucking baller answer.
Yeah.
Like the one I got, like I was exhausted one night and I was talking about how much I hated the use of marijuana. I was like, there's no fucking purpose for it. It's awful. I was saying all this shit that was coming out of my ass because obviously there's medicinal uses and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But they're like, well, I have a friend whose mom could never sleep, right? They had they had awful insomnia. No medication worked, nothing worked for them, but that worked for them. They sleep now, they're functional, they are happy, and it worked. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna bash on a single mom getting sleep, right? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's like, God, you backed me into a corner, man. Like, come on.
Right, and so having to ask the question of why helps you understand where people are coming from. That doesn't mean you have to change your beliefs or your choices, but it absolutely means that you need to have more respect for other people and carry yourself in a polite, respectful way, no matter what you feel.
I really like that. I think that's a really smart answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I guess that's like the whole thing about like respecting people within the scene is a very tedious and very thin line that I feel like a lot of people toe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's. Do you have any experiences in the scene? I guess dealing with that kind of respect around. It's like, is there a difference between like kind of talking with like younger folks or older folks or people who? I guess there are a decent amount of people in the scene who are there for different reasons.
The one I hate is talking to, and I don't mean this in a shitty douchey way, but I have no better word for it, a poser.
Yeah.
I really don't enjoy that. If you're there, like, I understand if you were there just because your friends are there, that's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being there for a fun time, not knowing the bands, not even liking the music. I always tell people, even if you don't like the music, go to a metal show, the energy is unmatched.
Yeah.
You will never experience an energy in a room like that, ever. Right? But like people, I remember running into this one guy, I was listening to Can't Swim on my phone. He's like, oh, I fucking love them. I was like, oh my God, I listened to these songs, and he's like, oh, I know the one. I went to their concert the other week, and I was like, you bought a concert ticket to see like a big show, and you knew one song, right? Like, and people like that, it's like, you do that for big artists, you're just a tourist, right? And a lot of those people, they don't support the bands. They're there to socialize, which isn't a big crime, but a lot of the time speaking to them feels ingenuine.
Yeah.
I suppose is my issue with it. That's where I'll say. There's nothing wrong with being a poser and existing at shows, but if I talk to you and you feel ingenuine and like you're talking down to the scene, that is upsetting.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two of that lack of respect is people that will big time you. Yeah. I've had this experience 2 or 3 times now. Where this one person, I went up to them and I'd hung out with them before. And I went up and I was like, hey, we hung out X time. Like, it's so good to see you again. They're like, yeah, you were at my house. You probably have to cut this part because they'll probably realize that it was them.
You're fine.
And that was the only, and it was like this really shitty tone. And they were in a band that was like bigger than us, and they were getting bigger shows than us at the time. And they were just like, yeah, okay. And they just kind of turned over and started another conversation. I was like, I came over so excited to talk to you. Yeah. And it's not a big deal. Again, these aren't huge experiences, but it's just like these little things where like it feels like you think you're better than me.
Yeah.
Right? And so dealing with people like that, I really don't like. It's never a big lack of respect because I feel like a lot of people have the base enough to hold what they have to say for at least a different audience if they don't like you.
That's fair.
But especially what I was talking about before the interview started when you were recording, this guy that was like, talking down to us and then made less than we made at our and had less people show up to our release show, and I promoted that in a week. He had a month.
Yeah.
And that's like, dude, you're not bigger than us, not that it matters, but you can't speak to us like that if you have no leg to stand on. If you're fucking in the Rolling Stones or and some shit, like, and you're like, you're kind of a shit band and you need to have respect and show up, I'll be like, yes, okay, fine.
Yes, Mr. Stone.
Yes, Mr. Stones. Like there's a hierarchy to these things, it feels like, right? Where it's like the show last night with Dying Wish. Yeah. If I was in one of those, so cool. I'm so happy for every one of those bands. Oh, I couldn't go. I'm so happy for every one of those bands. But like if you're one of those opening local bands and you get talked down to a little bit by like this huge touring band like Dying Wish. It's one of those things that it might just, it's like, okay, I understand you're probably having a rough, stressful time. You've been on the road for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. And it's like paying a little bit of your dues.
Yeah.
Right?
There are dues to be paid. I think that is a bit of a regressive thing of like paying your dues. Mm-hmm. But like there is an element of that has realness to it. Yeah. But like we're both paying our dues, me and this band, right? Like we're both kind of in the same position. Different scenes for sure. But we're both paying our dues. You don't talk down to us. Exactly. You don't talk down to our drummer. Fuck you.
Yeah. Because it's like, I will say, say, it's paying your dues and doing all that shit and like corporate and jobs and everything. And it's like, well, I worked for free for 40 years, and it's like, okay, cool.
I don't want to do that,
I don't
actually.
want to do that. Yeah. But it's like, I feel like when it's something like this, there is an element of like work that you do need to put in. You can't just like start playing music and kind of expect to blow up.
That's another thing that pissed me off, is a local band that started recently. They had a lot of friends, and because they had a lot of friends, they got booked on really big bills immediately. And I think you know who I'm talking about. I think you know who I'm talking about. And that pissed me off just a little bit. Who you know should not depend on where you get booked.
It always does.
But it shouldn't, though, right? It's not even about, actually, you know what? I'll change my sentence. How popular you are should not depend on that. Having good connections is not a crime.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. But how popular you are should not be, hey, you're popular. Do you want to come play at our gig? And it's like, you guys have played exactly 0 gigs.
Yeah.
My first show with Atrophy or Corpse Party, we had 3 people, I think, hold on, I'm trying to get the mental image. 6 people. We had 6 people show up. One of them was Santiago from Aftershock Overdrive. Fucking love Santiago. And the other 5 were people I invited, right? So we had technically 1 person in the audience for that.
Yeah.
Right? That's paying your dues.
Yeah.
That is earning your place up. And we've started playing bigger and bigger shows.
Been, like, around for like a good long while. It wasn't like it was new.
Yeah, you're gonna play smaller shows, and you know, the biggest show we played was you guys, Go Skate Day. Shout out Fuss. Fuss is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
We loved Go Skate Day, right? And that was a moment of like, oh my God, there are people that want to listen to us. There are so many people here right now that are listening and caring, and that's a cool feeling.
Oh, that was such a good
But it's
crowd.
something we felt like we earned. I can't.
Yeah.
I almost had. That sounds pitying. I can't imagine what it would be like to be put in that place of playing big shows without having felt like you've earned it, because that would put a lot of mental strain on you, I imagine, of like, you know, where do we go from here? Is this what people expect from us? If we don't have a big outcome, is that going to be a problem, right? Like,
it's
turnout,
like going,
I suppose.
like having the kind of nosedive of like, you can't really...
You just started, and now it's like, now people don't care anymore, but people do care.
Yeah.
It's just they just saw you. Give it some time, right? I guess is the idea. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah.
I don't know.
Do you want to talk about Go Skate Day, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was okay. So my favorite part of this was that I got to bring my little brother Oliver,
It was so
who still wears his Fuss shirt, by the way. Who still wears his Fuss
I
shirt.
made those in my living room.
Yeah, you also made the Atrophy shirts in your living room. We fucking love those. We're selling at least one every show.
Yay.
People love them.
How exciting.
My favorite part about it was that it was an incredibly welcoming environment. Something about the Fuss people and the Fuss community, it brings out the best people. It really does. There were vendors, there were musicians, there were people, there were tourists, there was all sorts of people there that were all there with the same goal in mind, was just to have a great time, and we did. We absolutely did. The generator shit was so fucking stressful.
I don't even remember all of it.
You were freaking out.
I'm over it now.
Good.
So
okay, I'm glad you're over it.
We have an actual generator now.
That's so good.
That's what that show kind of did for us.
But yeah, it was like, I remember sitting there watching John Fuss, otherwise known as E-Money Swag.
Or Bevan Benjamin.
I don't know that one, but I will absolutely call him that.
It's a good one.
Yeah, the one we were coming up with different words for e-transfer, and I came up with E-Money Swag.
That's a good.
And I was like, that's your new name now, actually. That's your name. Fucking real quick tangent. I fucked with Evan so hard one time. He had a guitar up for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. Did I tell you this?
No, but I know he's been selling a lot of his shit.
So my Facebook is under a different name. So I messaged him on Marketplace and I said, hey, I'll give you $20 and a high five. Meet at Jane and Finch alone. And he responded, I figured he was on to me. He responded, I'm going to touch you, buddy. And I was like, oh, he's on to me.
No, that's what he says to people.
Yeah, I didn't know this. So I texted him on Instagram and I was like, he's on to me. And I'm like, saying you're going to touch people on Facebook Marketplace is not great. And he's like, but what if they lowball me? And I was like, $20 and a high five is an incredibly fair deal. And I just got back, motherfucker, that was you. He was so felt like he was a little mad. I'm sure, but yeah, I enjoy Evan's company very much.
I love that guy.
Evan's great.
One of my my best friends. What a good guy.
Yeah, but Go Skate Day
Yes.
was wonderful. Little stressful, but seeing Evan and whoever the other guy was trying to start the generator with a belt wrapped around the motor and just
That was-
fucking pull it. I'm like, this is DIY.
Yeah.
This is what it is. This is exactly what DIY is. This is community helping community and putting together a jank-ass show that's a great time. And it was so much fun. And that's what DIY kind of meant to me, is that everyone was there for each other immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like there were 18 of us trying to find a new generator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where else are you gonna manage to, like, in an office setting anywhere, to get 18 people to do anything is impossible, but everyone is so like-minded and so caring about the same thing in that moment, where it's like, all we want is the music, all we want is a good time. What do we have to do to get there? Right?
I loved when you were calling that company that was just in the States. That one was really good.
Oh my God. Well, because they had local shops, but their support line was in the States. And so I got a call from Pennsylvania. I'm like, what the fuck? What? And they're like, well, we have to charge you to open. And they transferred me like 8 times. It's like, yeah, we have to charge $300 to open up the store again. I'm like, bitch, that's a key. You own the key. Come on now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Go Skate Day was great. And how I know it was great is it wasn't just me, someone who's been in the scene a little bit now, that had a good time, but my little brother, who had never been to a show, never been to a concert, never heard my music really before other than little demos on my phone,
Yeah.
and had never met an alternative person in his life other than me, was immediately welcomed. Somebody taught him how to hit a half pipe.
Yeah, that was our friend Lilo.
Yeah, I'll send you that video. But like, she held his hand and he did a half pipe. He's 9. Right? That was so fucking cool. And everyone was like, I'm jealous of your brother. I'm like, you know what? I would be too. Could you imagine having that much reckless abandon and love for whatever was going on because it was so new? He was hitting cartwheels in the pit. I'm like, dude, that's an advanced move. Maybe cool it just a little bit.
You're just too cool.
You're 9. You're too cool. People are going to be jealous.
Yeah.
But that was so important to me because I was like, this is nowhere but a fuss show would a 9-year-old just be like accepted as just like part of it.
Yeah.
She's like, you're cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep you, and we're gonna teach you how to mosh, and like Cleo taught him how to 2-step, and it was a great time. It was so much fun.
Yeah, great.
I loved Go Skate Day. That was the most people we've ever played to, and probably the most people we will play to in a while.
Who knows?
Who knows, right? But it was a wonderful time. Every time that we've played for you twice now, I think.
I think so, yeah. May 3rd and then Go
May
Skate
3rd
Day.
and Go Skate Day.
Yeah.
Both times have been incredible experiences. Not only with the treatment in the moment, but the treatment afterwards, with the incredible media, with the incredible, like everything ends up with us feeling cared about and us feeling special. Like, for no lack of a better word, we feel taken care of.
Yeah.
And that's something that, you know, in the rough and tumble kind of scene where like everyone's trying to tough it out a lot of the time, you know, the fuss feels welcoming. It feels like you guys are more genuine and less jaded, I suppose.
I guess, yeah.
You're like, I'm jaded as fuck. That's what that was. That was I hate everyone and everything, but I'm glad you don't think that.
I try to bring positivity to things, no matter what my opinion is.
I understand that is code for I have a lot of negative opinions, but I would get in trouble if I said them, so I'm going to keep them inside instead of outside.
No!
Yeah.
No! The camera's not on me right now, so they can't tell.
Sid's giving a goofy ass grin and a big ass thumbs up right now. Can't see it. They're kicking their feet in the air like Drake. It's hilarious.
Bat my eyelashes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying the whole thing about DIY and everything. Do you have like any major opinion about, I guess, what that looks like then?
I think it's just community showing up for each other a lot of the time, right? Like I threw my first show last month,
Yeah.
a release show.
Congrats.
Everything about that was organized entirely by me.
Yeah.
I feel no shame in saying that. I booked the bands. Cleo made the poster. Sorry, Cleo made the poster.
So you didn't do it.
I didn't do it by myself, but there was a lot of it that I organized myself. I booked the venue, I found the musicians, I booked all the media teams, I set everything up, and it was like, holy fuck, how do people do this?
We don't.
Like,
We have a lot of people that help usually.
it took me a week, and it was the most stressful week of my life to try and put together a time that would be so good for everyone. And that experience very much showed me it's like DIY is not about doing it by yourself. DIY is about 1, trusting your community, and 2, caring about your community. Right? Like I couldn't have done that or put on that show if I didn't care about who was showing up, if I didn't care about the other musicians, if I didn't care about my own music, right? And so that's what it is, right? DIY is that we got our t-shirts made by you guys, right? Instead of printing them from some company in China, we bought our t-shirts in Kensington Market.
Yeah.
We brought them to you guys. We got them screen printed
In the junction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got it designed by our own
Friends.
vocalist,
Yeah.
right? That's DIY. We kept it within our community. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, I think so. All right. That's all I really got for you today.
That's all you got for me
That's
today?
all I
You don't have
got.
any more questions?
I don't.
Okay.
That was really awesome, though, Jamie. Thank you so much.
I hope it comes off okay.
It definitely will. I'm so glad to have had you in.
Schrodinger's interview. Anything you disagree with, I didn't mean, and anything you do agree with, I did.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yep.
Last few little things. I'm
Okay.
gonna get you to actually sign your name with the date on this piece of paper.
All right.
And because this is technically a photo project, film picture on. Oh, there we go. September 19th. You can fit it in there. Hold
Do you
on.
have a small?
I
Yeah.
got a smaller pen. There you go. That's really good. I like that.
I love you, Evan. I love you, Evan.
I love you,
If you're
Evan.
seeing this, I love you so much. Call me. Tina ain't shit. No, I'm kidding. I love you, Tina, also.
Dude, he never watches anything I do. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's a joke, a lie. All right, and then picture time. Ready? 3, 2. Amazing. And then that's everything for today.
Can you send me that when it's developed?
100%.
Yay.